Hey folks, this is Corey, and today I'm going to be answering some questions that many people have been asking me in a private chat about the web accessibility compliance and the laws that are in place. I'm going to give Facebook a minute to send out the notifications before I get started because this is some pretty important information. So give me a minute, let it catch up, and I will see who all. And first of all, I want to make sure that this is a public feed because last time I did it, it was not public. And that was a problem. So let me make sure that I am actually streaming live now. It doesn't look like I am. So that's a problem. Let's see. Do that right there. That's all right, guys. Technical difficulties. Give me just a minute. I want to make sure that this is live because this is really, really, really important. Yeah, I just don't think that it's going live right now, which is really, really weird. So if you're watching me, yep, there I am. It just took Facebook a little bit. Okay, there we go. There we go. Sound is good. Yep. Cool. All right. We are live. Good deal, good deal, good deal. So here's the deal, guys. Today I want to talk to you about the web compliance. If you see the repeat of this, it's very important. I'm going to go over a couple of things that you need to know. And specifically what I'm talking about, and this time I have a script, guys. Everybody says, well, Corey, you never use a script. You're all over the place. I have a script to follow. So I'll prove it to you guys. Let me open it up. I have an actual script that I'm following right there. See, there it is. So you guys, a lot of y'all will be happy because I'm kind of all over the place. But today I'm going to be actually following a script to let you know what's going on, why it's so important, why that it's very, very, very crucial and critical that you get your website compliant. And it's the Web Accessibility Act, okay? You need to know about this. Do your research. Google it. You'll see that everything I'm telling you is an actual fact, okay? I'm not making this stuff up. Many of my clients have got a hold of me like, oh my God, Corey, what do we do? Look, don't panic. There's companies out there that are charging people, $20, $30, $100,000 to make their website compliant, and it's kind of unnecessary. There's stuff that's in place. There's coding in place where you can simply do it. We have an AI. We have a scripting that goes in to your website that makes it compatible, and you're off the hook. We also have a insurance policy for what we do. And you're covered. If a lawsuit ever comes up, we've got you covered, guys. That's what's really, really important. So you wind up paying us, 1% of what it would cost you if you get sued. If you get sued, you can guarantee it's going to cost you minimum of a $20,000 fine. It's going to cost you minimum of $50,000 for an attorney just to deal with this. And that's before you even go to court, okay? So let's talk about it. So what are web accessibility laws, okay? And I'm going to show you guys some screenshots. I'm going to show you actual stuff here. So let me actually open this up. The one that you need to know that affects you the most is Title III. Let me turn off this image here so you can actually see my stuff behind me. I'm actually going to shrink myself. You guys don't need to see me that much, okay? So if you go to the ada.gov, you can actually see everything that's going on. You can look this up yourself. You can do the research yourself. So Title III is basically what we follow, okay? And what it means is that Title III of the American Disabilities Act prohibits discrimination on the bias of a disability in the activity, okay, of public accommodations. I don't know, Corey, what does that mean? I don't understand what that means. So while the law enacted primarily focuses on a physical location, right? It focuses on a physical location. It's now being applied to all websites as well. And you ask yourself, well, why is that? Well, because during the COVID and all that, now they actually did this back in November 2017. They updated again November 2019. So, like recently, they updated. They specifically updated it because of what was going on, and it's kind of odd that they updated it before COVID. But anyway, that's a whole other topic. But they know that more and more Americans, more and more people all over the web are actually accessing through the internet, and you have to understand that your website is an extension of your physical business, okay? Your physical brick and mortar. So the same laws that apply there apply to your website. Okay, now a lot of y'all saying, well, Corey, I don't have a brick and mortar. Well, then the website is your brick and mortar. Does that make sense? No, but just follow me here, guys, okay? So basically, they're saying, though, if you have a brick and mortar and someone comes into your restaurant or your barber shop or your, whatever it is you got, can they access your facility without being discriminated against? Does that make sense? So the same thing applies here. So you have to follow this. There is no way out of it. You absolutely have to follow it, okay? And there's standards that you have to follow. There's technical materials. You guys can read through this. I'm not going to go through every little bitty thing, but it's there. Do the research. Don't listen to me, right? Now, they've also they've made it to where Title II, okay, and of the ADA applies to state and local governments as well, meaning Section 04 and Section 508 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973 means that, by God, if it's a taxpayer entity, government, like, the public library, the courthouse, the town hall, stuff like that. If it's public and they can access it, the taxpayers are paying for that, then you have to make it accessible to everyone. Now, there have been massive amounts of lawsuits filed, and we'll go over that here in a second. And I mean, this guy's right now, there's been over, I think it's something like $7 billion in fines just to the public for their businesses and to the public entities, like the public buildings and public websites, right? So if you go to county, like if you live in Dallas County, you go to Dallas County, whatever it is, .org or whatever it is, that has to be ADA compliant. Now, I can tell you right now, here in Texas where I'm at, there's a lot of businesses that aren't, there's a lot of public businesses, the county, the state, the jail, stuff like that, that's not ADA compliant. And they've been slammed hard, right? And when they pay a fine, where do you think they're paying for that at? They're pulling it out of taxpayer dollars. So that's a whole other conversation too. But you guys need to know that that's what's happening, right? So if a website is inaccessible to those with disabilities, the business is required to redesign the website. They incur monetary damages and pay attorney fees. I just went over that. I'm reading my notes, guys. So when it comes to the U.S. Web Accessibility Standard, U.S. business are on notice. They're basically saying that you guys should know, right? You guys should automatically know, because when you get your business license, you should know that that's what it's about. You should know that, sorry, I clicked on the wrong image. You should know that underneath that business license, it tells you what's required, okay? Whether you have a brick and mortar or not. The laws are very clear, and ignorance of the law is no excuse, okay? So you guys need to know that. So the other thing we want to talk about is, and I pulled up my website here. If you guys are interested in getting a hold of me to find out how you can do it, just go to instantwebcompliance.com, fill out the information. We'll send you a free report on if your website's incompliant. I can tell you right now, 99.9% of the time, y'all's website's not compliant. So I'll send you a free report that shows you how out of whack you are on your website as far as the law is concerned. Okay? That's really, really important. Okay? So you're asking yourself, well, what does this, why did they create this law? Why did they create, I understand for like the handicap parking and the handicap bathrooms and handicap, everything, handrails and all that. But why have they applied it to the website? So let's kind of go over that. Well, there's 61 Americans have reported that they have a disability that affects their major life activities. Okay? According to the Center for Disease Control, that works out to 25% of all Americans living in the U.S. The CDC classifies disabilities as those affected by these categories. All right, so let's go over this. The category means, and I'm kind of getting in depth here, guys, but stick with me. You'll understand why this is so important to you and why you need to have it. The disability means if they have a mobility disability, like if they can't move their arms and legs and stuff like that, they can't turn their neck or whatever, that's a disability. Their vision, some people are just flat out blind. They can't see. Some people have blurred vision. Old people have to use reading glasses, So, and they have to rely upon independent living, meaning they don't want to be taken care of, guys. So they need to be in independent living. They want to be able to do stuff on their own. Well, part of that process is being able to, buy groceries, pay your bills, work, and stuff like that. So you have to make the condition available for everyone, okay? Because they want to do self-care, right? The web accessibility laws in the U.S., web accessibility standards, are aimed at making sure anyone suffering from these disabilities have the same right of access as non-disabled, okay? And with all this stuff going on, and everything's going on, racism, all that going on right now, BLM and all that. So let's take that at a different level. So no matter what color you are, no matter where you're from, no matter what race you are, would you not agree that a person that's disabled should also have the same access as you do to any website? I do. I think that it's only right. It's a human right. And that's why when I did this, I put my flag up, guys, because I'm like, you know what? I think this is American. As the United States, I think it's very important for us to support everyone in the United States. Everyone. No matter what religious background, no matter what race they are, no matter what color they are. I think it's very, very important for us to make sure that everyone that comes to our website has equal access to be able to either buy our products or sign up to our program or do whatever it is they do on our website. I think everyone across the board needs that access. So that's number one. By the way, they have a disposable income of over $540 billion. $540 billion. That's the disabled community. That's how much money is involved with them. So ask yourself this question. By not being compliant, okay, let's forget about the law. Let's pretend the law is not there, okay? By not being compliant, you are, in essence, telling that disposable market, or the disposable income market, that you don't want their business. Does that sound right to you? No, it doesn't. So why would you, just for that alone, let's say you're in the business of sales, right? And you're selling a product. Why would you not want to make your product available to that community, the disabled community? Because they have a disposable income of $540 billion and they can't buy your product because they can't access your website properly. That's a problem. Do you not agree? So that's very, very important, guys. So let's continue. I'm looking at my script here. So that's very, very important, guys. And if you look down and you say, who is required to follow the web accessibility laws? You can go here, guys. I have it right here. You can go. Let's see. Make sure that I've got it where you guys can see the screen. I want to make sure. Let me shrink my fat head again, guys. Is any of this making sense? Let me click over here, see if you guys are following me. See, I can't tell. It's really weird. Sometimes you just can't even tell what's happening on Facebook. It's really, really weird. Let me go here and make sure that see if there's any questions. I don't see any questions. It's really weird. Anyway, so let me see if there's anyone. See, I can't see any comments or anything. It's really weird how Facebook works. So anyway, I'm not going to worry about the comments. If you guys have questions, you can reach out to me directly. But let's talk about this. So you need to understand that basically it applies to who is required that this applies to, okay? Generally speaking, any business that is public facing is required to comply with web accessibility standards and guidelines. The Americans with Disabilities Act applies to private businesses in one of these 12 categories. Okay, this is very, very, very important, guys, that you focus on what I'm saying right now. The American Disabilities Act, ADA, applies to anyone that is public facing. What does that mean, Corey? If you address the public, listen, if you address the public in any shape or form, whether it be a website, whether it be a storefront, you have to follow these laws, period. Okay? A lodging business, a business that serves food or drink, an entertainment business, a bar, right? Exhibition, a public gathering, okay? If it's a movie theater, right? Your website has to be compliant. Sales, like clothing and stuff like that. A car rental business has to have it. Just general services establishments, right? Like if you're a air duct or a sheet metal mechanic, or if you're a car mechanic, or if you're a cleaning maid service, right? Any public, like a public transportation, a public display, recreation, educational, schools, libraries, colleges, social services. If your business is actually in the business of being a social media manager and you address the public, you have to follow these laws, okay? If you are exercise and recreation, if you are a gym owner, or if you teach hula hoop dancing, or if you do I don't know what's some Zumba, whatever that crap is, you have to be ADA compliant. You have to be, guys. So, here's the thing. It applies to local and state government. The 504 and 508 Rehabilitation Act applies to them, right? A lot of people are not really paying attention to it, and they're getting slammed. You guys can look to see how many businesses are being sued, and you will find out really quickly that a lot of businesses are just having their butts handed to them, and it's costing them hundreds of thousands of dollars, guys. So I just want to make that really, really clear. I want you guys to understand that I'm here trying to help you guys, okay? So am I going to get paid for it? Yes. But look, guys, the amount of money that you have to pay me to get your website compliant and to be safe is 100, 300 times cheaper than what it would cost you if you get sued. It's also 99% cheaper than what it would take to have a coder, a developer, go in and recode your website. That's going to take minimum 8 weeks and minimum $30,000 easily. Okay? So, is any of this making sense? If it does, put in a comment. Makes sense, so I know you guys are following me. If you have questions, reach out to me. If you want to call me direct, you can just go to the website here, right? And you can fill out this information. Also, my number is right here at the bottom of the website. You can see it. It's an 800 number. You can call me. You can also see on the website all the stuff are you guys seeing my website, by the way? Let me see. Yes, you are. You can see all the stuff that I cover, right? You can see everything here that I cover. There's a lot more to it, guys. I just haven't really put it in there yet, okay? So it's just really important that you guys pay attention to me. So the other thing I want to talk to you guys about is, the WCAG 2.1 and 2.2 is really, really what the government is using to come after people. And you need to know the law. You need to understand the law. We'll help you understand that. But here's the thing. You simply can fill out the form, give me your web address. I will let you know how far out of compliant you are. I will also tell you the cost. And the costs are a lot less than what you think they are. Okay? Right now, I have been hard coding a lot of websites. So we're going to be offering this to our customers pretty much from now until I decide I can no longer handle that volume at that price point. We're going to be offering it to customers for less than $2,000. Okay. It depends upon the size of your website, and it depends upon what you need done to your website in order to make it compliant. Okay, that's really, really important to understand because every website is different. Every code compliant is different for each type of website. So the base model is basically $1,000. If we have to get more stuff in there, because here's the thing, here's what you're getting, guys, and this is really important. I didn't want to really touch on it, but I'm going to go ahead and touch on it. Okay. When you get this service through us to make your website compliant, you are getting an insurance policy. That means that you are getting a certified certificate saying that your website is compliant. You are in conjunction with the law. You are 100% compliant. Now, does this protect you from lawsuits? No. No, guys. If anyone out there says that, if a lawyer or anyone out there says that I'll protect you, you're safe, yada, 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 they're full of it. It's not going to happen. No one can 100% make a website compliant every second of the day. And here's what I mean by that. If you have a website and we take our coding and we take our scripting and we make it to where the objects that are on the website now become compliant, as soon as you add more details in there, more pictures, more images, stuff like that, our system has to work on that to make it compliant. We have an AI that basically does that for you. It takes up to 48 hours to get the new data on your website compliant. So there's always a risk of coming in and seeing that, hey, the website's not compliant, we're going to file a suit against you. But here's the way the law works. The law states very clearly, and this is what's happening with most cases in court, and you can actually look at it. They're saying specifically that if you make a good faith effort to make your website compliant, you're good. You get a warning the first time. And that's what most lawsuits have been doing. But for the websites, the people they give them, they tell them, hey, you're out of compliance, they don't do anything about it, they're slamming them hard, right? It's 20, 40. You can look this up. Domino's, right? I forgot to tell you guys about that. So Domino's Pizza, where did it go? I had it in my notes. I guess I missed it in my notes. Thought I had it in my notes. Had a list of people that have been sued bad. Really, 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 really bad. Oh, you guys are wondering how many lawsuits were filed? 2018, there was 2,285 lawsuits filed. It's a 181% increase. 2019, there was over 8,642 lawsuits filed. Now, let me be clear about that. And 2020, it's already reached that level. It's close to over 16,000 lawsuits that have actually gone through, right? There's a lot of lawsuits that take place that are totally settled out before the first day of court. And that's where we come in, right? Because they want to make sure that you're compliant. I would say there's probably been over $8 billion in fines assessed just this year alone because they're not compliant. Now, you ask yourself, well, who's doing this? Well, look, bottom line, the federal government doesn't have time to chase everyone down. They've opened up offices for the compliances here in Texas, I know of, 49 offices that I know of. But mainly it's ambulance chasing lawyers that are trying to make money off this because there is no, I can't sue you because your website is non-compliant for my disability. I can't. I can sue you, but I don't make any money off of that. There's nothing to be paid out. The fine goes towards the federal government, and the way that they assess money off of that is they pay the legal fees. So the attorneys are making bank off of this. And I showed you guys, if you look at my timeline a couple of days ago, or last week or so, I showed you where just the legal cost was close to $1 million. The assessed settlement was, I think, $350,000. That was the settlement to settle out of court. If they had pushed it and fought it and tried to go to court like Beyonce Knowles did, Domino's did, look it up. Domino's Pizza got sued for web accessibility access, and it was millions of dollars, guys. It wasn't pretty. They started the actual. They were the first, right? I'm trying to look at my notes here. I had a list of companies that you can look up. Okay, yeah. So Domino's, Netflix, Target, all faced lawsuits by advocacy groups over the accessibility of their websites, forcing changes to compliance practices. So look them up. You can look up Domino's, Netflix, Target, Beyonce Knowles, Adidas, Nike, Amazon, even Google. But it's out there, guys. So anyway, back to what I was saying. We take your website, we make it compliant. You get a certificate along with that, assuring that everything that we've done is in compliance with the law, so that if you ever do have a lawsuit filed against you, we have a team, you're insured, that backs it up saying, hey, and our team, most of them work for the W3C, okay? A lot of them are actual ADA lawyers, okay? And they know what's compliant and what's not compliant, okay? So you have a team backing you up. So if that lawsuit is filed, we got your back. Now, is this going to stop you from being sued? No. But here's the thing. When a compliance officer comes to your website and they see that you've got certain things done, and let me show you that, guys. I know you guys are like, well, Corey, what does that mean, man? So if you come into my, let me click it here real quick. I've got a little cheap website that's like a test website. Let's see. Don't know. Let me see, guys, real quick. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to try to find a website real quick. I don't know if I have it up and running where you guys can actually see it. Oops. So, anyway, I don't have one up and running for my personal stuff, and I don't want to show you my clients' websites. I do have a lot of clients in there, but I'm just not going to share that with you because I think it's, you know, my clients wouldn't like that if I shared it with you. I do have a lot of clients so far. I do have some city clients. I have some county clients. I have some Fortune 500 clients that I'm working with. I'm fixing to work with major entities in New York right now because, again, all the COVID stuff, everybody's shut down. So what are they doing? They're actually going to websites to do their shopping and to do everything they're doing. And the government knows that. So they're actually looking at they're following the Google traffic, seeing which websites people are going to the most. And then that's what they're doing. They're going to that website as well, and they're seeing if that website's compliant. If you've got 100,000 people coming to your website every day or every week, they're going to make sure that that's compliant, because out of the 100,000 coming to the website, I would say 20% of them are disabled. And if your website's not compliant, that's not okay. So anyway, guys, that's my time. If you have any questions, get a hold of me, and we'll go from there. I've been on here a lot longer than I thought I would, but it's the weekend. But I would like to extend my hand to these local businesses. If you personally know me here on Facebook and you have a website of any kind. Also, if you have an affiliate website, you might be non-compliant. So all you guys doing these affiliate network marketing and MLM type stuff, if your website's not compliant, you're still liable. Even though you're an affiliate for that company, they can personally hold you liable. Think about that for a second. So reach out to me. I'll let you know how you can get compliant. It doesn't take that long to get it done, at less than 48 hours to get you in compliant. We simply take the payment. You get, now the reason I say we have to have the payment up front is because I get you an actual certificate through the ADA, through the federal government, that makes sure your website is then registered, saying that you have already followed the compliant laws, okay? And they do a check on it, and it takes them about 48 hours to check everything to make sure that everything's been switched in the background so that you are in compliant. Once that's done, you're good. You're golden. You'll see it. And we will inform you on a daily and a monthly basis. We'll give you a report showing you that everything's in compliant. If something pops up that's not compliant, we notify you right away. That's part of the package. You're covered for the entire year, guys. So this payment where you come out there and you see these guys doing these cheap things that are costing you $100 and stuff, that's not good. So if you're buying those cheap overlays, if you're buying these other companies saying, oh yeah, here, just add this to your website, you're good, No. Okay. There's other companies out there offering a hard code. And the thing is, a hard code means they go into your website and they recode everything. What I mean by that is they take the picture, and most of y'all, when y'all do this, you're not doing it right. So when you upload a picture, you're just uploading that picture, but you're not telling the public what that picture is. It's called an alt tag or a meta tag. You have to give a description of that image and a title of that image. The reason for that is so if a blind person comes to that and they click on that, they can see what that actual image is without being able to see it, okay? Most of y'all are not doing that. I'm guilty. I did it too. So anyway, guys, that's my time. Get a hold of me. If you're interested, I will walk through it. I will actually generate a free report for you to let you know how far out of compliance your website is, and we'll go from there. Do your research. Look up the stuff I told you to look up, and Google ADA website compliance or web accessibility compliance, and you'll be shocked. Do web accessibility compliance lawsuit, and you'll be shocked at what's happening. It's massive, guys. They're coming after you. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when they're coming after you. Okay, guys? Anyway, and by the way, I don't want you guys to get shut down because you can't afford the fines that come from the federal government, because it's not cheap. It's not a couple of $100. It's minimum $20,000. That has shut down businesses for that. Don't be caught in that, guys. Reach out to me. If anything, it's a free conversation, okay? And we'll get you up to speed. Anyway, guys, my name is Corey Holland. Remember, love, share, give. You guys have a great weekend. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.